The man in the suit is horrified. Life has thrown an unexpected challenge his way. Before him stood a giant white wolf, indifferent to his circumstances. The piercing red gaze of the beast does not promise an easy victory. A huge wolf looms over him and his mysterious companion. Her decisive eyes reflect the harsh truth. There is no choice. The beast attacks, but the girl takes the blow. Such is the harsh reality. Suddenly the scene changes, a hospital sign and his shocked question. At the registration rack, he finds out, treatment is not covered with insurance? The nurse says sympathetically, the new medication for your sister will have to be paid for in full. Without expensive insurance, the burden is huge. The guy is crushed. It can't be. The price appears on the monitor screen, 5 million won. 5 million? The guy grabs his head in horror. The doctor explains. Without injection twice a month, sister threatens paralysis. He stands by her bed, realizing the sisters hung the price tag on the life. Sister asks about the account. He painfully decides whether to tell the truth. With a forced smile, he lies that he found a job through the professor. Sister sadly mentions athletics, and he cannot admit to the lies. He promises that she will return to sports, and his sister agrees to study with a smile. The guy encourages her, assuring that he will cover the expenses even without her parents. But at the bank, he faces rejection. New loans are impossible due to student debts. The guy is crushed, clutching a bank book after being rejected. His face contorts into a grimace of despair. The situation seems hopeless. He grips the now useless book tighter, a symbol of shattered hopes. In a rage, he throws the book to the ground. Damn it! The book is revealed on empty pages. A black cat appears nearby, and only money. He looks into the distance, clenching his fists. The thought of money pursues him. In his eyes, determination and despair. I need money. Desperately needed. Credit history is spoiled, but he must find a way to get them. He grabs his head, realizing, but there is no way out! The guy falls to his knees in the middle of the street, broken. I need it so... He covers his face with his hand. What to do? Is Shuzhen can no longer walk? Gathering forces, he decides, not the time for tears, I have to find a way. Black Cat scratches the abandoned book. This is not the edge of the abyss. Aye, friend. The guy rises and the cat is trembling about his leg, drawing attention to the book. In an open book, he notices a nested black business card. Is something glued here? With surprise, he examines the find. What is this? On the business card, a number and the inscription, Underground Temporary Work on Call? His eyes expand from suspicion. Suspiciously, a new scheme for the sale of organs. He discards the card. I have not yet been so desperate, some charlatans. But after a moment, he lifts her. Do not litter it. Yes, and who knows? The night sinks to the city. The light is still on in the window of his apartment. The sudden call of the phone violates the painful thoughts of the guy. Demissions confirm that debts are ruthlessly growing every day. He understands. Interest and accounts eat the last crumbs. Time does not wait. Determination on the face. No more going over options. It's time to act. Black business card in his hand. His last desperate hope. Suspicious, but the call is not an obligation. The main thing is not to the organs. Dialing the number, he tries to calm himself with thoughts of honesty and kindness. Hello, he says uncertainly, waiting for an answer on the other end of the wire. What? A surprised voice at the other end makes him dumbfounded. Voice at the other end confirms, you just called, right? Yes, it's me. The guy is nervous and the interlocutor is surprised. Wow, so people really call this number? He is informed, work today in the funeral hall of the Kvanak Hospital by 10:50. This is after 30 minutes? On the other end, they're impatient. Any problems? If you don't make it in time, I'm hanging up. No problems at all. New condition. Ah yes, dress code is a black suit, and now he is already in place. He never asked about the essence of the work, but decided, if something goes wrong, I will run away at once. The main thing is an exposure to Erogen. The rest does not matter. He is met by someone with a golden ribbon. Sudden question behind your back. Are you Mr. Do-jin? Ah, yes. He turns around, slightly embarrassed, and confirms. Whether Do-jin? He is a spectacular girl with long white hair. This is me. At their first meeting, he experienced two feelings as he looked at her shoes. The first was inexplicable trust when she soared in front of him. At least this job didn't seem illegal. A glimmer of hope flashed. The second was an inexplicable fear when she introduced herself. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Lee Do-jin." This fear was... He looked at her from the bottom up, feeling her superiority. Like diving into the night sea, as with thalassophobia. Moreover, she got too close, invading his personal space. Why are you looking at me like that? Is this some kind of stress interview? Her otherworldly beauty and unreal aura were mesmerizing, and she said, "All right, follow me." "Where are we going? What kind of work is this?" he asked, and she replied, "We're heading to the funeral hall number 1 of this hospital." In the hall, a man grabs the grieving girl by the hand. "Hey, why are you so prickly?" He smirks. "I'm a friend of your father. I came to offer my condolences." His hand grips her sleeve. "Don't you remember how I adored you when you were little?" The girl yanks her hand away in fury. "Get your filthy hands off me!" Do-jin's white-haired companion commands, "Mr. Lee Do-jin, get ready." "What for?" the guy wonders while she calmly drinks from the cup. Do-jin is worried, watching her hold the cup, clearly up to something. The man won't calm down. "You don't treat a friend of my father like that. I did bring a generous offering after all." Do-jin interferes with the impudent hand. "Express condolences and leave, or I will call the police." He seems to be cold determination. Lee Do-jin from the funeral bureau. The impudent is furious. "How dare a jerk from the funeral to touch me?" He repels Do-jina. "Do you know who I am?" The girl is horrified. The white-haired person calmly declares, "He is not from the funeral bureau like me." Do-jin in confusion. "Not a funeral bureau? Then why are we here?" Her gaze pierces the insolent look. "His name is Kim Han-shik." She reveals his pensive, a member of the city council with a dark past. A girl with a folder continues. "Over the past year, you have taken away a lot of innocent lives." The grieving girl in shock. "Perhaps on the day of the accident of my father." Before his eyes, a terrible picture. A journalist who revealed his corruption is shot down by a car. His portrait at the funeral. "Your old friend, killed in an adjusted accident." Han-shik grinning. "Yeah, it is clear. It seems that the night prosecutor brought only one investigator." He boasts of the phone. "Do you know how many numbers of the highest-ranked prosecutors have here?" The white-haired man says gloomily, holding the folder, "Your karma is already crowded." She continues, "Performing sins and repeating them with new ones. In 60 years, you harmful too much." Her gaze is piercing. "Even for such garbage as you, the last chance has come. K it right now." Han-shik snorts, turning away. "What kind of nonsense? Repent. The current young prosecutors are hopeless." He calls someone passing by. "Ah, Secretary Pak? This weekend organize a golf game with our chef." Han-shik is deleted, surrounded by a strange radiance, continuing to speak on the phone. The white-haired one turns to Do-jin. "Our work begins now." "Eh?" She points to the outgoing Han-shik. "We must stop this. This person?" Han-shik suddenly collapses onto the floor. Blood is whipping from his mouth. Do-jin in shock rushes to him. "Hey, come to your senses!" The white-haired indicates in the void. "You need to stop it, not. It is there. It tears the space." The guy sees with horror how the air is distorted, foreshadowing the appearance of something terrible. She explains, "Such entities are ruthless. They do not care about your circumstances." From the vault, powerful animal paws covered with luminous red letters appear. Her voice is impassive. "You can consider it unfair." White wool with patterns appears. "But you can't do anything." Do-jin froze with horror, looking at the monster. A huge white wolf with burning eyes and runes on the skin leaves the portal. The white-haired carefully watches how the wolf drags the Han-shik and Do-jin into the darkness. This is this world. Darkness is thickening like ink on paper, and the wolf asks, "Who are you?" The horror is spreading around, and Do-jin shouts to people, "Everyone urgently evacuated." "They have disappeared?" The guy is amazed, and she replies, "Do not worry, we have disappeared." Her shoes step on the invisible face. "We entered the barrier of this monster." Do-jin is stunned. "Barrier? What does that mean?" "Here the monster hunts villains." A huge wolf with a roar rushes at them, sparkling red runes. A powerful blow shakes the earth, exploding with a blue flame. "They are thrown by an explosive wave. Do-jin screams with horror under the gaze of the beast. The guy is coughing, lying on the ground, and his companion has already recovered. She strongly declares, "Our work today is to stop this hunt." The wolf growls, "So you, Mokdugi, stood in my way?" Monster threatens, "If so, I will kill you right here," and releases a charge of energy. The white-haired raises the folder on which the magic symbol lights up. The symbol turns into a huge shield, reflecting the attack of the wolf. She is unshakably holding the defense. Do-jin looks in amazement from behind her back. The wolf grunts, "So, you foolishly decided to challenge me, the commendable spirit of the warrior." Do-jin, in horror, does not believe his eyes. Is it true? Not a dream?" The guy froze in front of the wolf, who again collects energy in the mouth. The wolf again attacks with a powerful beam. Do-jin shouts, "What, damn it, is happening?" Suddenly, the companion grabs a Do-jin by the collar, dragging him aside. The powerful explosion of blue energy spreads everything in the place where Do-jin stood. Wolf looks at smoke, where you can see a dark silhouette that survived after the attack. The beast grunts. His red eyes contemptuously assess the situation. The white-haired holds a Do-jina in her arms, and the wolf mocks. "To escape in the arms of a woman? Shame for a man." Wolf turns to her. "Do you want to fight? Cook weapons, you don't look like a sub-act master." He continues to mock Do-jin. "This bookworm will not touch me with his finger." Girl, not releasing a Do-jina, retorts, "It seems you forgot something." A funeral room is visible. She continues boldly. "Despite all this noise, you also could not even touch the hair on his head." Do-jin in a panic. "What does she carry? Do not provoke him so much." The wolf seems to have thought, "Let me make an offer." She offers the wolf, "You will fight this backmanant, and whoever receives the wound is retreating." The wolf mockingly clarifies, "Even the slightest scratch? Are you really so confident in your abilities?" The wolf's eye sparkles. "Good. I'll wait." The beast sits down, looking at them. "So far, this person is ready for battle." Do-jin in the arms of the girl babble, I actually fight very badly. Don't worry, I will help." She puts him on his feet and he confusedly says, "So..." The girl asks, "Do you have any weapon?" Do-jin in a panic, "What? To hell weapons." The guy shouts, "Why did you get that I can handle this wolf monster? I believe that you will cope with this." Do-jin objects, "No, I'm just a student. A scientist must be able to shoot from a bow." Luke appears. The guy takes place. "Archers in the National Center. What about blades? Scissors? Maybe? Pyong or gone? What is this?" Blue-haired people incredulously asks, "Do you really not know how to handle weapons?" Her piercing look makes Do-jina be nervous. "Does she really consider me miserable?" The guy was embarrassedly babbled, "Well, maybe there is something..." Male pride prevails. He, with tears in his eyes, blurts out, "Ah, there is one thing." Having decided to lie at first. She commands, "Okay, then on my knees." Do-jin is in shock. "What? Suddenly?" He obeys, and she explains, "I will give you the power to materialize an imaginary weapon." The girl continues, touching his forehead. "Power to create a weapon with its own power." She presses his head to her, whispering, "Imagine him, collect in parts in the mind." Do-jin, stunned and flushed, tries to focus on her words. She confidently declares, "And then the weapon that you imagine will appear in the real world." She encourages, "I'm sure you can materialize it." Do-jin confusedly agrees, "Yes." The guy blushes, stuttering, "Well, of course." His heart is pounding. Do-jin clapping his cheeks, "Get ready, Lee Do-jin, trying to pull yourself together." The wolf carefully monitors them. His gaze is cold and prudent. The eyes of the beast flare up scarlet. It seems that the preparations are completed. Monster takes a step forward. His clawed paws are ready for attack. The wolf turns to Do-jin. "The body is weak, but the spirit is strong. You are well suppressing fear." Do-jin concentrates, repeating her words, "Present and collect in the mind." The beast rushes on the attack with the roar, "I will give you a quick and painless death." The eyes of Do-jin flash blue. He recalls 3D modeling. He is familiar with the creation of virtual objects. Do-jin recalls the years of study. Was all this for this moment? He concentrates energy, deciding to create weapons in the most familiar way to him. The guy shouts to the wolf, "I will show you a weapon from the world of my imagination." In his hands, a familiar object begins to materialize, the M16 rifle. Wolf growls, "Spears or swords, I don't care." But Do-jin is already aiming. The rifle trunk flashes blue, ready for a shot. The claw of the wolf swings, but a blue beam pierces it. Blood splashes. The sleeve flies out of the rifle. Do-jin opened fire. The beast is back, his paws are burned with energy shots. The wolf publishes a painful roar. His red eyes are full of surprise. Energy bullets Do-jin leave bloody wounds on the skin of a huge wolf. The white-haired girl with a slight smile watches the outcome of her venture. Do-jin confidently holds his M16, smoking after the shots. Wolf admits, "I forgot," that people can own sin and punishment. The beast bursts out with laughter. "Interesting, I like it." Do-jin and the girl are surprised. The wolf looks at his wounds. "As promised, you scratched my body." With a predatory grin, he announces, "So today I will retreat." Monster seems to be My Name Bamsori, one of the 6 fangs that received names. Do-jin with a rifle on his shoulder replies, "And my name is Do-jin, the proud reservist of the Republic of Korea." The wolf thoughtfully repeats, "Lee Do-jin," remembering the name of his opponent. Bamsori with burning eyes promises, "I will remember this name." The wolf disappears, and the shining benches in the corridor also dissolve. Do-jin is looking around, not believing, "Did I really deal with this monster?" He notes the barrier restored all the destruction around. The girl appears behind, praising, "Great work." She calms him. "The danger has passed, you can relax." The white-haired clicks with his fingers with a light grin. Rifle in the hands of Do-jin immediately turns into smoke. He is in shock. His phone vibrates. "Payment for work is already in your account, Mr. Do-jin." The girl announces, "Now I will explain our work in stages." Do-jin gloomily declares, "I came only for daytime earnings, and I'm not going to do such a dangerous work anymore." He unfolds to leave, "So I take it off." The girl is left behind. The white-haired stops him. "Wait, something else." She explains, "This is an envelope with the same amount that was translated." Do-jin freezes. The girl holds out a black envelope with a seal. "Please take this envelope." Do-jin uncertainly accepts a mysterious black envelope from her hands. She explains, "If you change your mind and want to meet, open it and I will find you." The girl coquettishly removes the strand of hair. "I hope this will not take much time." She says goodbye with a light blush, "Until the day of our new meeting." Sharpshift, an inverted burning car in the middle of a night road in the rain. Resigned bodies are visible inside a broken car, a gloomy memory of Do-jin. Wounded Do-jin whispers the name of the sister, "Yejin, take care of her." He wakes up in tears from a nightmare. Someone puts ice to his face. Sister counts up to 3, preparing to wake him more decisively. Do-jin jumps from an ice cube thrown on his chest. "Ah, cold! What is it?" Sister Yejin reproaches him. "Finally woke up? You yourself asked to wake up." Yejin recalls a visit to the hospital while a mysterious black envelope lies on the table. The girl leaves to cook breakfast, telling him to wash. Do-jin, in despair, grabs his head. Accounts for the hospital. Where to get so much money? Suddenly overshadows him. "Exactly! I did not check yesterday's payment." Do-jin, sitting on the bed with excitement, checks his phone. "How much did they pay for me?" His eyes are expanding from shock when he sees the amount on the screen. At breakfast with his sister, he mutters, "5 millions!" Yejin is puzzled. Cleaning teeth, Do-jin still cannot believe. 5 million? The sister is perplexed. Stunned, he goes into his table with an incompetent gait. Suddenly, with all his might, he hit the little finger on the table's leg. There is a loud cry of pain, and the shadow of Do-jin falls behind the scenes. Yejin sighs at his table. "Oh, this is unbearable." Do-jin writhes on the floor from pain. How pains." And then his gaze falls on the black envelope. "Wait, if you think..." Do-jin looks at the envelope, recalling, "She said there is the same amount of money?" He holds the envelope, thinking, the costs of medicines are covered, but what next? Maybe open? The memory pops up. The girl offers an envelope, promising the same amount. She confidently declares, "Open him, and I will find you wherever you are." Do-jin sits on the bed, doubting. She will find me, but how will she know where I am? He begins to tear the envelope, muttering, "Even if he finds, I won't open the door." Sudden voice is heard in the room. Ah, you opened it. Do-jin freezes. The close-up of his shocked face, the voice continues. Convert? Eye of Do-jin expands with horror. A drop of sweat flows down the temple. His hands frantically squeeze the sheet, giving out extreme stress. Do-jin sharply twitches the blanket, waiting for to see the void. But under him, on his bed, a white-haired stranger impressively lies. The guy's face distorts the grimace of pure horror. His eyes climb from orbits. Crawling, he whispers in shock. What have you been here for a long time? Suddenly behind the door, the sister's voice is heard. Appa, what happened? Are you all right? He yells in a panic, no, when his sister's about to enter. Outside at home, her worried voice is heard. Appa. She clearly goes to him. Do-jin looks into the room, confusing. What are you doing now? Trying to hide the guest, he covers with a blanket and shouts, Ah! Do not open the curtains abruptly. Sister, already in the room, sarcastically knocks through the air. Non-stroke, Appa! Can come in, right? Do-jin claims to have heard a female voice. Do-jin babbles about the phone. Sister, with an understanding grin, replies, Well, of course. She tends to, I know how lonely you, Appa, at your age without a girl. Do-jin reproaches, But is it too much to do such a day? Sister sighs and decides to go to the store, leaving him alone. Do-jin, under the blanket, panic. It seems that there was a huge misunderstanding. He decides, no, it's even better, let her sister think anything. The white-haired stranger under the blanket asks, Changed your mind? Better a misunderstanding. Sharp change of plan, we see the facade of the cozy cafe Akeo. Do-jin sits in a cafe with the same girl thinking, I had to escape in a cafe to avoid Do-jin. Do-jin nervously drinks coffee, his companion is hidden behind the monitor. In the news on the screen, a broken car is shown. A member of the parliament, Kim Han-sik, died. The guy recalls, auto catastrophe? Is that wolf monster after him? The white-haired stranger confirms, exactly. He died this morning in an accident at the hospital. Она добавляет с усмешкой, иронично, ведь он сам так устранял людей, а Do-jin думает, по делам ему. The girl continues, but thanks to your victory over the wolf, the soul of Kim Han-sik went straight to hell. Do-jin in horror asks, then covered with, To hell? He looks at her, trying to understand. Who? No. What are you at all? The stranger with a dark aura behind his back replies, As you have already guessed, I came from the underworld. Do-jin in confusion thinks, Is she crazy? But after yesterday? Do-jin asks, So who are you? Reaper taking souls into the afterlife? The girl, twisting the glass, replies, Almost, but you were mistaken in 2 moments. I am performing the duties of an hour. She clarifies, My rank is not a step, but Sinjin Fumgoi. My work is to pacify evil and win the demons. The stranger explains, For a simple accompanying souls, my strength is not needed. Our task is to protect souls. Do-jin, sweating slightly, clarifies, That is, we must protect human souls from those huge monsters? She confirms. Ancient drawings show, These monsters are the only creatures that are not born from the myriad of things in the universe. Illustrations continue. They are born from the sins of mankind, from the explosions of human souls. Giant snakes with fangs devouring the world symbolizes them, mocked, the highest predators of demonic creatures, fleas of memoirs. Do-jin releases a powerful stream of blue energy. Energy blow of incredible power falls on the enemy, demonstrating his hidden abilities. Enemy, a wolf monster in a humanoid uniform, meets a blow surrounded by its energy. Defeated wolf, night horrors, heals wounds, steam goes from his shoulder. The summer star is watching him from afar. His back is covered with scarlet patterns. The inscription reads, The invincible master of the night honey lost to a simple person. She mockingly screams from the tree, Do you train in the old-fashioned way, breaking stones, outclocking? The irritated wolf demands, Warm from a tree and speak respectfully, a summer star, or I will turn your neck. The cat girl only plays playfully. Oh, what a sensitive one. Jumping, she continues. Who would have thought that the master of the night honey will return from a failed hunt? He proudly replies, Failure? I am a warrior. I kept a promise. She grins. Such an old-fashioned Ajay. Aj? She kicks the pebble, referring to the stereotypical man of middle-aged. Summer Star continues, Yes, people like you, the master of the Nightia. The wolf retorts, "So, now excellent warriors are called Aja?" The girl throws a stone into him. He insists, "I did not lose, but restrained the word. Retreat after the first scratch." She laughs. "Usually this is a loss." Night Whore furiously releases her wolf aura. The summer star ironizes, "Oh, how scary." The cat girl, seriously, "Be that as it may. The mother wants to personally hear the reason for your failure." Nighthook, clenching his fists, replies, "I understand. I will visit her soon." Summer Star stretching unfolds. "Then I will go." She takes a step but suddenly stops. But turning around with a cunning grin, she asks, "That man, he is strong?" Cafe again. Belovelose explains, "Mokdugi hunts villains like Kim Hanshik to kidnap their desecrated souls." Do-jin, looking at the glass, thinks, "So their prey is only truly damned?" He asks the question, "Then is it not karma, and why protect such people?" The white-haired covers his eyes, starting his speech. "The order of this universe," which Stush illustrates her words. "He is woven from the endless cycle of rebirths. Planet in energy flows. This cycle of souls supports space order. Mystical blue flame in the forest. This is the ecumenical law established by the creation itself. The luminous silhouette of the soul. Hundreds of years go to the birth of even one new human soul." The stranger emphasizes, "The soul of a person is a rare essence. It must be protected for the balance of the universe." Dojina's hand squeezes the cup tightly. He listens carefully. In the reflection of the drink, Do-jin admits, "Space laws. After all, I can't not believe her." Do-jin recalls, "Especially when the feeling of weapons." He looks at his hands. "Created yesterday from the world, it still has not passed." The white-haired gets up, putting a scroll on the table in front of a Do-jin. She unfolds the scroll. "Human evil must be cleared by punishment in hell." Illustration of the sinner. Human sin, like a poison in blood, slowly destroys the fabric of the universe. The demonic face is in fire. And the proof of that, the sins have already been generated by the mocked, the demon who challenges the laws of creation. The girl explains, "If we do not send the souls of the villains to hell, their sins will accumulate, causing cracks in a cosmic order." She looks seriously. "This can lead to universal cataclysm." Do-jin, sweating slightly, mutters, "I understand why you want to protect the souls of villains, but," he adds bitterly, "I have no luxury to worry about the cataclysms. I barely make ends meet with my sister." Do-jin gets up, saying, "I listened to your story, and now, with your permission, I will leave." He takes a step to the exit, but suddenly stops with the word, "But," Do-jin challenges, "If you really are God, why don't you fight these monsters yourself?" The girl calmly replies, "We easily pacify ordinary demons and evil spirits with our divine force." Illustration shows, only human souls can defeat the Mokdugs generated by sin, their opposite. She explains, "Our divine attacks and weapons against Mokdugi are powerless." The girl abruptly grabs the Dojina by the hand, preventing him from leaving. Bending towards him, she persistently says, "Mr. Do-jin, you have the talent and quality of the Keeper of Souls." Do-jin, clearly embarrassed by her touch, mutters, Forgive me," close up his face. He blushes densely, his heart is furiously pounding from an unexpected gesture. In a cafe, a girl suddenly enters. Do-jin turns around in shock. He screams, "What?" And in a panic, he hit his head on the table. The white-haired person is sympathetically asking, "Is something wrong?" Do-jin mutters, No, just..." The reddened Do-jin, peering out from the table, says, "I see..." His thoughts are occupied by a sister. "If Ijin can walk, I will do anything." Do-jin resolutely takes the girl by the hands. "I want to ask something." She looks at him, waiting for the question while he continues. "If you are really the goddess," he looks into her eyes, "can you completely cure my sister? If so, I agree to this work." The girl answers with sympathy, "I sincerely empathize with your sister, but..." She seriously explains, "The gods are strictly forbidden to intervene in the affairs of people, even for the sake of a miracle." The white-haired man with regret says, "I am sorry, their hands are still woven." Do-jin looks at her. His gaze is full of understanding and light sadness. He sighs. Nothing. I have not been waiting for a slight solution, but the treatment of my sister requires expensive drugs. Do-jin sets the condition. I understand. If you can reliably cover her medical accounts, he strongly continues, looking ahead. Then fight with these monsters with you. The white-haired man with a barely noticeable smile listens as he concludes, I agree. They sit silently, holding hands. The atmosphere is tense but full of determination. Girl, suddenly becoming chibi, admits, Actually, I would also like to live without worries about expenses. Do-jin, blushing slightly, suddenly asks, Could you get me a powerful computer? The white-haired and chibi form blinks in surprise, pondering his unexpected request. Do-jin, without emergency, asks, And when Ijin will go to college, training too? Night. The moon illuminates the apartment building where Do-jin lives. At home, Do-jin dinner with a noodles immersed in his thoughts. His decisive look says a lot. He is ready for everything for his sister. At dinner, Sister Ijin reads while Do-jin eats silently. Do-jin, sweating slightly, turns to his sister. Ijin, he asks with children's immediacy, Do you miss Mom with Dad? Maybe you want to cry? Jin, in surprise, breaks away from the book. Why suddenly such a question? She gently puts the book on the table. I'm fine, Appa. Ijin, with a smile, explains, After all, you perfectly filled the void left by your parents. Do-jin is amazed. What? Since when is she so adult? Is Ijin emotionally more mature than me? He looks at a family photo. Mom, Dad, do not worry, I care about Ijin. Ijin also addresses his parents. Mom, Dad, do not worry, I care about the opping. Change of scene. We see escalators in a brightly lit shopping center. In a music store, a guy in a bright jacket and cap selects something on the shelves. He carefully draws a vinyl plate or a large disc from the shelf. The guy with a satisfied smile holds his find in his hands. Suddenly, a small dark creature with luminous red eyes appears due to the rack. The creature turns to him. The summer star is, and the guy turns around in surprise. He slightly straightens the cap, his gaze becomes serious. Summer Star with a smile warns, Be careful, ordinary people are afraid of mice. The creature asks for silence, apologizing, I just came to buy a disc. Star, who with interest asks, So what's the matter? Mouse with red tags asks, Let us fight with you, but gets a refusal. The guy is interested in whether the mouse knows who this time the defender of the people. Mouse answers, We know. They say this is a man with a gun defeated the master of Night Frost. Starshow explains, That is why it is dangerous for you to fight. One bullet, and you are not. He calls on the mouse, So stop this reckless courage. The mouse objects grinning. Unlike copies and swords, the gun is useless without cartridges, right? Many red eyes sparkle behind the mouse. And the number of our swarm, Mouse boasts, significantly exceeds the number of cartridges in a conventional rifle. His red eye sparkles. And did we all take an oath together? Summerstar shrugs. Yes, you are strong or weak. We vowed to give your life for the mother and our family. On the face of the star, a barely noticeable, understanding smile appears. He looks piercingly. So you say you want to fight and die? Mouse squeezes a clawed paw. If we can choose the time and place to give our lives, his gaze is full of determination. Next to the 6 of you who have received names, we will fight and die. Summerstar smiles, taking off his cap. Okay, since I saw your determination, I will no longer refuse. He puts the disc on the shelf. Your blood and the victim will become the basis for the salvation of our Mokdugi. The star decisively corrects the cap. Get ready for the battle from this moment. Summer Star looks forward. The inscription says, The day of hunting is already close. The first week of training, Do-jin runs along the embankment and the white-haired is watching. His legs beat off a clear rhythm on the asphalt without slowing down. The white-haired writes, After that day, for an accurate analysis of his condition and endurance, Do-jin, all in measuring sensors, panting, continues to run. The hellish period of measurements began. She runs nearby, fixing his records for 15 and 3 kilometers again and again all day. Maybe we will measure everything at once? Exhales exhausted Do-jin, losing sensors. Is it really so necessary? So many times? He barely holds, and she explains, We need data at a different level of exhaustion. His face blushed from tension while she continues, This is the only way we will create an effective training program. The white-haired man turns with a confident look. Trust me and follow me. This is all for you, Do-jin. Do-jin, all in the plasters, continues the exhausting run under the scorching sun. The white-haired one does not lag behind. The second week of training is coming, and the action is transferred to the Akeo gym. Close up, the legs of a Do-jin, preparing for lifting a heavy bar, are also visible here. Do-jin, with a face skewed from tension, tries to raise the bar. His body trembles with a stranger. The white-haired one has cold, bloodedly watching how Do-jin from the Last Forces performs a squat with a bar. She notes something on the tablet. I did a great job. Maybe we will increase the weight a little more? Do-jin drops the bar, exhausted, and the white-haired explains. In the second week, we collected data from strength training daily. Third week, Do-jin lies on the ground, panting. White-haired stands above him, continuing measurements. She gives instructions to Do-jin, whose head is enclosed in a magic bubble. Do not open your mouth, breathe your nose, expanding the lungs. The last day of the third week, Do-jin from the Last Forces runs along the forest path. The white-haired watches from the hill. Do-jin, all in the plasters with horror, thinks, "It seems I will die now." He crawls on the ground with his last strength, whisper, "I almost got..." The exhausted Do-jin falls face down at the feet of a white-haired, unable to rise. The white-haired one coldly writes, 12 minutes 35 seconds. For 2 minutes 5 seconds is slower than yesterday. And Do-jin coughs. Now to the mineral source, he hears, thinking. At such a pace, I will soon go to the other world. The white-haired woman looks at him thoughtfully while he is trying to recover on the ground. With a tricky smile, she offers, "You will get in 10 minutes. I will fulfill any of your desires." Hearing this, Do-jin clenches his fists. His face distorts the grimace of determination. He sharply jumps up to his feet, ready for a new jerk. With a loud cry, "Ah!" Do-jin rushes along the forest path, leaving white-haired behind. After 18 minutes and 25 seconds of exhausting run, Do-jin is still not at the goal. He falls without strength. The soul seems to leave the body. A bottle of water appears nearby. The white-haired one is inclined above him. You really worked well. Она продолжает, пока его пластыри светятся. Хоть ты и не уложился в 10 минут за 3 недели. Do-jin lies with a layer, and the white-haired concludes. We have collected enough data about your physical training. With a tablet in her hands, she decisively declares, now let's start a serious training of your ability. They move to a quiet garden. Do-jin sits on a bench. A white-haired one stands opposite. Putting on a t-shirt, Do-jin listens to her explanation. The ability you will use is vitality. Do-jin is surprised. Life power? The white-haired nods. Yes, it is usually called PEC. She looks at him seriously. But before learning to manage the PEK, we measure your maximum reserve. The white-haired burns a talisman. Her gaze is full of determination. She calls on the Saranga, demanding to build a barrier from outsiders. The magic symbol flashes on the ground at her feet, preparing a spell. Blue energy dome instantly covers them with a Do-jin. The sign confirms they are at the mineral source of Mount Mac, now isolated. Over the dome, there is a complex pink seal, enhancing protection. The white-haired announces Do-jin, it is time to learn how to use the PEC. Do-jin realizes that he is waiting for the surreal world of battles with demons. She instructs, focus in the lessons if you want to survive in a fight from the Mokdugi. Suddenly, in another place, an exclamation is heard among the bookshelves. It is so annoying! And meanwhile, Sarang is indignant. The white-haired one 3 weeks were only with a Do-jin. Because of this guy, all her funny plans with a mentor went to dust. Saranging boils with anger. Only because he passed some kind of fitness test there, his complacency is annoying. On the screen, the white-haired gives the command, Sarang, get ready for measuring the limit of the PC. And that reacts in an instant. Saranging with a challenge looks at the screen. HMF, this guy named Do-jin. Let's see how useful he is. In the garden, Do-jin lowers one knee in front of a white-haired one, ready for a new task. She gives an instruction. Now, as you did with a rifle, try to create a small metal cube. Do-jin concentrates, holding out his hand. Blue energy begins to gather at his palm. A bright flash and a luminous blue cube materializes from energy. The white-haired commands, keep size but increase weight to your maximum. Do-jin hardly holds a shining cube, which becomes harder. The white-haired man coldly orders, "Continue to increase the weight until I say stop." She suddenly squeezes her throat as if giving a mental order. In response, Soranga activates the magic circle, receiving an instruction. Sorang, a measuring device, came. From a magic circle, a flying spherical drone with a cat's muzzle appears. The drone flies to a Do-jin, tied with a pink energy thread with a white-haired. Do-jin watches in surprise how a thin pink thread stretches to his forehead. "What is this thread?" he asks, and the white-haired explains. "She will measure your energy. Continue." The holographic screen shows rapidly growing numbers. Its level is already 94. Saranga reports a white-haired through the screen. "Already more than 90, Lady of the Hour. The average indicator is 100. We are preparing to stop." Belovelase confidently declares, "No, its indicator will be even higher." Saranging in shock, and the mentor orders, "Let's know when it approaches 180. Do-jin tensely holds the cube while the figure is 180, hangs in the air. The white-haired is interested in, "Do you feel any physical changes?" Do-jin replies, "Not really, nothing like that. Something wrong?" The mentor reassures, "This is normal. Even the complete exhaustion of PEK will not cause physical symptoms." Do-jin sighs in relief. "I thought that I would collapse without strength since this is life energy." The white-haired seriously warns, "It is the lack of physical signs of exhaustion of PEK that makes it dangerous." In the meantime, Sorang, sitting at the table, stunnedly monitors the indicators on the hologram. She cannot believe her eyes. "This is impossible." Soranga is surprised. The Dojina indicator is already 153. Usually, the limit is 130. The white-haired warns, before the complete exhaustion of Peck, he suddenly will go blood from his nose. She insists, "You must remember this feeling, the only sign before the fully exhausted Peck." Do-jin is interested in the consequences, and she explains, "After bleeding, he will draw power from the soul." Light candle with the name Lee Do-jin symbolizes such a force reduces his life. The mentor briskly adds, "The absence of obvious symptoms makes the exhaustion of the PEC deadly." Her piercing pink eyes are full of seriousness and hidden anxiety. Saranging in a panic, screaming from the screen, "Lady of the Hour! Already 170! White-haired is calm. The girl is watching incorrectly how the numbers on the hologram are growing rapidly. 180, 190. Dojina's indicator reaches incredible 200. The energy around him flashes. White-haired, leaning towards Do-jin, says, "You can stop, Mr. Do-jin." The exhausted Do-jin sinks to the knee. The blue energy around it disperses. Embarrassed, wiping blood from the nose, he admits that it was easier than physical training. The mentor thanks him for their zeal, holding out a handkerchief and recalling to remember this sign. She carefully gives him a snow-white scarf with a lace border. Do-jin, with a grateful smile, takes the scarf, still a little bloodied. White-haired, now in the form of a hologram, turns to Sorang. "What is the final indicator?" Sorang, not believing his eyes, looks at the screen. "Huh? Wait, it cannot be..." Her wide-open blue eyes reflect incredible numbers on the hologram. Saranging in shock pronounces, 274? Looking at Do-jin's data on the screen. Saranging in bewilderment. "Lady of the Hour, the limit of the PEC of this guy. How did you find out that he will be so high?" The white-haired on the hologram mysteriously smiles Sarang, as if she knew everything in advance. The mentor explains, "The reason why Mr. Do-jin Peck has much higher than an ordinary person," she continues, standing in front of Do-jin, "that he inherited Yugi." Do-jin in surprise asks, "Eugene?" The white-haired persons insightfully look at him. "Mr. Do-jin, your late parents gave you a promise, right? Desperate request." The eyes of Do-jin expand from sudden insight. "Ah!" The memory flashes, the day of the accident, and the father asks to take care of his sister. Do-jin, looking down, bitterly recalls, "My father and mother." He confirms, "Right before death, they asked me to take care of my sister." The white-haired listens carefully. The white-haired explains, "And if the one who is asked sincerely accepts this desire, then at the moment before the death of the deceased flows into it." The mentor concludes, "We call this transmission of Peck and the inheritance of the Eugene." Do-jin holds out a hand to the cube lying on the grass. He applies to the cube, realizing, "This weight, This is the PK that my father and mother gave me. Long white hair mentors flutter in a light wind. She gently pulls the Dojina by the hand, helping him rise. To inherit the peck and support it is a difficult task. The white-haired man looks at him with tenderness. This weight is a testimony of your sincere years and efforts. Do-jin rises to his feet, and the mentor remains on his knees, looking at him from the bottom up. He confidently leaves, waving her hand in parting. Do-jin picks up water in a red bucket from under the crane. He sharply douses himself with water, trying to cool. Mentor, with a slight smile, remarks, "Ha ha, suddenly it became hot." From his clothes and sneakers, drops of water flow to the ground. Do-jin breathes heavily, all red and sweaty, clearly embarrassed. He awkwardly apologizes to the mentor, justifying himself with heat. She, with a tricky smile, notices about abnormal weather, and Do-jin breaks to a new training session. The mentor announces, "For today, the training is over, you can go home." She adds with a grin, "But it would be better for you to first remove the edema from tears from the eyes." Do-jin shouts indignantly, "I didn't cry at all!" And the city shines against the background. Sunny day, Do-jin returns home under a clear sky. Sister in the kitchen notices a Dojina gathering to leave again. "Appa again somewhere?" She, wiping the dishes, notes, "Judging by the clothes, not to work." Do-jin replies that she moved to physical work. Sister in surprise asks, "Physical labor?" Do-jin, a little nervous, assures her, It is, the usual work, nothing dangerous." He hastily leaves, and his sister wants to return early and be careful because of the rain. Pink gloves carefully wash the plate, symbolizing home coziness. Sister looks thoughtfully to the side. Her anxiety does not subside. Do-jin resolutely walks down the street, moving away from the house. The mentor mentally turns to him. "Your parents know the best, how much you have tried so far." Hand of Dojina, recalling the PC left by parents. The mentor continues to explain. If the dying person sincerely wants something, and the one who is nearby is ready to fulfill this will, the PK flows into it. The ghostly silhouettes of parents behind the back of Do-jin, this is how the PK is inherited. Do-jin squeezes a fist. "This is called to be the will, and Ye-jin and I are not alone." A slight smile touches his lips. This knowledge is worth all efforts. Suddenly, a small multi-purpose drone in the form of a cat appears. Drone activates a mobile training mode, creating a barrier. Barrier with a radius of 500 meters covers the terrain, protecting from outsiders. Do-jin stands on a wasteland lit by a ray beam, ready for a new training. Do-jin incredulously slants on the suddenly appearing drone cot. Drone Kotick strictly orders, "Do not move, I measure the physical condition." The luminous drone is circling around a Do-jin, which looks confused. Dojina overshadows, a voice from this drone. Where did I hear him before? The mentor decisively declares, "Well, let's start a practical training." Do-jin is in shock. He objects, "Already? But I'm not ready to fight the monsters at all." The white-haired with a confident half-smile soothes him. "Do not worry." She continues, "You won't have to beat with monsters." And the drone cot jumps to the ground. Her voice intrigues, "Today, Mr. Do-jin will collide." The drone hit the ground, lifting dust. So here with this. A stormy water flow breaks out of the ground, gaining shape. Do-jin in amazement looks at the source of the voice, not believing his eyes. This guy... The memory flashes. The young man strokes the black cat, who is affectionately purred. Do-jin recognizes a cat from a drone. So this is the same cat? Mentor, with a smile, confirms, "You have already seen him, right?" She represents a cat proudly looking into the distance. This baby is called Damil Pai. Damil Pio appears in the true formidable appearance of the spirit that makes criminals tell the truth. The mentor explains, "If this cat bites you, you will lay out everything you think about whether you want it or not." Do-jin in a panic, "What? This Milaha bites?" But the mentor reassures, he cannot bite ordinary living people. She continues, "No one will break through the protection of PAK, but there are exceptions." Do-jin reaches for the cat. Mentor adds with a hint, "But he can very much bite the current Mr. Do-jin." The mentor explains, "The PK of Mr. Dojina changed the protective attribute to the combat. Yet when you materialize the weapon in the first battle, and the cat immediately bites his finger." Do-jin cries in pain, "Aye, it hurts," and immediately blurts out, My eyes were constantly staring at the feet of the mentor in stockings. Drawn Kotick in a rage. "Oh, you puppy, what did you say about the stockings of our mentor there?" Do-jin tries to unhook the cat. "Let go, Small, it hurts!" But he clutched with a dead grip. Do-jin in tears from pain and anger. The cat is also tousled and unhappy. Mentor with curiosity clarifies, "Is something wrong with my stockings?" Do-jin in a panic is trying to pretend that he did not say anything, and the drone threatens him. Drawn Kotick, Demila incurred. "Glue him to death, Demil." The cat is angrily meow. The eyes of Demila Pio sparkle, foreshadowing the unkind. Do-jin in horror. "To bite to death? This is a joke, right?" The cat is slowly approaching. The mentor explains, "This is only preparation for a real battle. Your goal is to pacify this baby." Do-jin nervously retreats. His sneakers slide on wet ground. He swallows, gathering in spirit. "Good. Let's start with this not the most dangerous." Do-jin squeezes a fist. Determination appears in his gaze. "Even if it is a spiritual beast?" Cat with multicolored eyes falls to the ground, preparing for an attack, and Do-jin thinks, "This is just a cat." Koda's paw strokes with force on the ground, leaving a small crater. Demil Pio rushes to Do-jin, sending him to a flight with a loud, "Meowul." The frame is replaced by a view of the bridge and the city under the rainbow, as if giving a break. Do-jin on his knees, all in scratches, silently worries the first attack of the cat. The mentor apologizes. "I have not even turned on the sparring mode." The drone is gloating. She strokes Damsil Pio, soothing him. "Quiet, Damsil Pio." The teacher asks the cat, "Mr. Do-jin is new here, be gentle with him." The cat meows understandingly. She carefully sets Damsil down on the ground. He is already ready for battle. The teacher folds her hands and says firmly, "So?" She explains about the barrier. "A radius of 100 meters, it follows you, complete freedom of movement." The mentor announces with a serious expression, "I've switched the barrier to sparring mode." She assures, "In this mode, the body is intangible. There will be no real injuries. Show what you're capable of." Do-jin's fist bursts with energy. "All right, there's only one way to handle the cat." Do-jin smiles as he materializes. A cat teaser fishing rod. The toy is reflected in Damsil Pio's eye. He's clearly intrigued. The mentor shouts in shock, "Hey, are you an idiot?" She demands, "Put that away immediately." Do-jin looks puzzled. Damsil Pio playfully looks at Do-jin with a toy mouse in his teeth. The cat's paws slowly tread the ground. He's clearly plotting something. The mentor warns, seeing the cat toy, Damsil loses control. The cat meows fiercely with glowing red eyes, preparing to attack. Do-jin screams in horror, "Is this a cat or a demon?" The teaser fishing rod falls to the ground, broken. The mentor watches as Do-jin runs for his life from the enraged cat. She chuckles. This idiot awakened the beast in Damsil, but the training will be more realistic. Do-jin panics and rushes forward, while Damsil Pio chases him with a fierce "Meow!" The drone cat notes, "Your endurance has noticeably improved. 3 weeks of training haven't been in vain." Do-jin, without slowing down, shouts to the drone, "How do I tame this cat?" He is desperate. "I can't defeat it with my bare hands." The drone is ready to explain the tactics. The drone reminds him, "Your pack switched from a defensive to a combat attribute, remember?" It continues, "For pack to attack, you need to switch him to one of the 3 combat attributes." A giant shadow of the cat looms over Do-jin, who tries to dodge in horror. The drone starts a lecture on the run. The first attribute is willpower. If you train it persistently, the drone explains, you will be able to momentarily gain the physical abilities of Mokdugi. Do-jin hopefully asks, "So I can use the willpower attribute right now?" The drone firmly replies, "No way." Do-jin pleads, "Teach me to win first. I'll study the theory at home, print it out later." Do-jin's eye widens in terror at the cat's menacing, "My-you!" Damsil Pio releases a powerful red beam from its mouth, barely missing Do-jin. The cat with glowing red and blue eyes looks incredibly formidable. Do-jin panics. This cat shoots beams from its mouth? The drone explains that Damsil is a spirit beast. The drone moves on to the second attribute. If you train determination right away, you'll be able to use combat spells, telekinesis, and throw objects, the drone continues. Damsil Pio calmly sits by a puddle as if nothing happened. Damsel Pyo attacks again, the beam exploding the ground in front of him. The puddle where the cat sat instantly evaporates from the heat. Do-jin, horrified, the puddle evaporated from a single shot. The drone explains that determination also requires years of training and is not yet available to Do-jin. Do-jin panics. Enough theory. How do I tame this beam-shooting cat? The drone apologizes for the lengthy explanation while Damsel Pyo glares fiercely. A toy mouse bursts into a fiery whirlwind left on the battlefield. Damsel Pyo slowly approaches, and the drone says that willpower and determination are too difficult right now. The drone promises, "I'll teach you an attribute with destructive power like determination." Do-jin listens hopefully. The drone announces, "The last third attribute, divinity." Do-jin is enveloped in a glow. The drone continues the lecture, while Do-jin kneels pleading, "Stop explaining, help me." Damsel Pyo suddenly finds himself in a fiery vortex. Do-jin is stunned. The drone explains, the third attribute, divinity, allows the materialization of objects. Do-jin recalls how he already created a weapon using his peck. He exclaims, "Exactly, in the first battle I created a pistol," the drone confirms. The drone clarifies, "This attribute is most often used by soul keepers." "Want to create weapons from pack capable of injuring Mokdugi," concludes the drone. Meanwhile, Damsel Pyo raises his paw toward the ominous red circle in the sky. Do-jin's eyes widen in horror, sensing something is wrong. A terrifying, multi-eyed creature emerges from the magic circle. Damsel Pyo summons a giant red paw from the magic circle. Do-jin is in shock. Do-jin panics, shouting, "Wait! This is seriously dangerous!" The drone reassures, "Don't worry, wounds in the barrier will heal after exiting." Do-jin nervously smiles. "So if we get torn apart, we won't die?" The drone confirms, but the pain will be real. A huge spectral paw crashes down on Do-jin with force. Damsel Pyo gracefully jumps back from the epicenter of the strike. The ground rises. Do-jin, stunned, lies on the ground, rubbing his bruised head. Do-jin's eye widens in terror. He screams in pain or fear. Damsel Pyo prepares another attack, summoning yet another giant paw. Do-jin, breathing heavily, realizes, "Damn, I can't dodge forever. My body's at its limit." Surrounded by a blue aura, Do-jin decides, "I have no choice. I'll have to take the hit." A huge spectral paw roars down on him from above. At the last moment, Do-jin materializes a huge metal shield, blocking the attack. The drone cat watches this maneuver with a surprised expression. The mentor, watching the fight through a screen, remarks impressed, "Oh, not bad." A white-haired girl with a slight smile praises, "Well done, Mr. Do-jin." The drone explains that Do-jin reflected Damsel's attack with a materialized plate without using defensive techniques. Divinity in battle works like a technique and can even partially replace the will attribute, adds the drone. Do-jin's hand grips the handle from which the shield forms, glowing with energy. Do-jin stands confidently with the shield. "Great, now defense is not a problem." Do-jin contemplates how to lighten the materialized objects, his hand glowing with energy. Armed with shield and pistol, Do-jin challenges the cat. "Now it's my turn, meow." The mentor behind the screen notes, the combination of shield and pistol, this synergy already justifies the training. She reflects. Usually divinity is trained only for weapon creation, since techniques are more powerful. Until now, soul keepers created only simple weapons like spears or swords, thinks the mentor. She is impressed. But Mr. Do-jin materializes precise firearms at an astonishing speed. Modern weapons are not inferior to techniques in power, but for now divinity is your best choice, explains the drone. Do-jin tightly grips his weapon, ready for battle, but the drone warns about his current capabilities. Damsel Pyo dashes at incredible speed. The drone doubts even a pistol can stop him. Do-jin, desperate. "Damn, he's too small and fast, can't hit him!" The cat attacks again. Damsel Pyo slams a new giant paw directly onto Do-jin's shield. The monstrous blow throws Do-jin back, the shield barely holds. Do-jin is thrown to the ground, losing both shield and balance. Lying flat on the ground, Do-jin admits, "Just as I thought, one pistol isn't enough." He breathes heavily, sweat streaming down his face, his strength fading. Damsel Pyo easily lands on the rifle Do-jin dropped. The cat, standing on the weapon, releases a terrifying fiery aura, emitting a menacing meow. Do-jin, watching this, clenches his fist on the ground, determination flashing in his eyes. "Then," he whispers, "just a little more." The cat squints maliciously as if saying, Just a bit more. Damsel Pyo jumps down, crushing the rifle under his small but powerful paws. Damsel Pyo lunges into attack, but Do-jin with a glowing hand prepares a counter move. Do-jin decisively stretches his hand forward, shouting, "Appear!" A powerful column of water crashes down on the cat. Do-jin commands, "Waterfall!" Damsel Pyo is shocked, drenched by the water. He makes a surprised, "Unyanyanyang?" The water flow does not weaken, completely covering the little Damsel Pyo. The wet and stunned cat lies on the ground, murmuring a quiet "nya." Do-jin rises, and a sturdy blue cage materializes around the defeated cat. Exhausted, Do-jin falls on his back with a satisfied smile. "Excellent." Damsel Pyo caught in the cage, his spirit seems to detach, admitting, "Captured?" The mentor gasps at the screen, amazed. "Do-jin, you just created water?" The mentor is astonished. Materializing liquid requires immense training in divinity. The drone is puzzled. He's only materialized pack twice today. How did he master it so quickly? The white-haired girl suggests perhaps his abilities with divinity go beyond ordinary talent. The camera pulls back, showing Do-jin and the girl sitting on a bench under the bridge. The drone cat sitting nearby praises Do-jin. "That was excellent." The girl adds, "I didn't expect you to defeat Damsel with such ingenuity." Do-jin smiles shyly, saying, "They say cats who love water are so rare it takes 3 generations of virtue to meet one." The girl crosses her arms. Memories of Damsel's furious water-hating attacks flash in the background. She announces, "Well, it's a bit early, but we'll end training for today, and I'll give you an easy task for 3 days. The girl hands Do-jin a book. Study the structure of firearms to materialize them. The girl clarifies that the most important sections in the book are already marked with sticky notes. Do-jin looks at the grenade blueprints in the manual with surprise. The mentor informs that the back spent during training will recover after a day of rest. Do-jin thoughtfully compares back to game mana, with his HP and MP bars visible in the background. She warns, "Be ready for a challenge over the next 3 days. A villain with nearly depleted back has appeared." The girl orders Sarang to show a photo of the villain and the remainder of his energy. The hologram displays a woman, Cho Jin-hee, with critically low back, vulnerable to Mokdugi. Do-jin realizes the meaning of her words, and the mentor nods to confirm his guess. With a serious expression, the girl announces, "Soon we will have our first joint battle." The camera shows a nighttime view of the tall building of the Soho M&E company. In the Soho M&E office, someone off-screen criticizes Cho Jin-hee's appearance. Jin-hee herself sorts through photos of men, but thinks about a girl with an influential grandfather, whom it's dangerous to get involved with. Having chosen 2 guys, she smirks maliciously. At least these 2 look fun enough. Jin-hee calls manager Kim, demanding to bring girl number 3 and number 8 to the club. Her plans are interrupted by a call about a single recording, which only annoys her as it disrupts the fun. Enraged, she yells into the phone, threatening the rebellious artist with a failed debut. Jin-hee's face twists with malice. "These useless idiots are driving me crazy." She orders the secretary to prepare the car and warn the club about her imminent visit. Getting ready to leave, Jin-hee searches for something in her elegant handbag. With a sly grin, she pulls out an object resembling a mask. "This will be enough." A mysterious observer notes that Cho Jin-hee's back is dangerously low. At night, he is already tracking her, anticipating her defenselessness the next day. With a slight smirk, he decides she will do, even if she's not to his taste. Considering her villainy, he intends to devour her, flashing a predatory gaze. The next day arrives, the moon illuminating the night building. Do-jin is immersed in studying a book received from his mentor in the office. He looks puzzled, trying to understand the complex techniques. Do-jin closes the book, admitting that the attributes of will and determination are beyond him for now. He mutters lines from the book about infusing back into the spine to strengthen the nerves. Reading about imbuing back with fiery energy in its explosion, Do-jin is completely lost in speculation. Do-jin concentrates the glowing energy of back, preparing for action. He reflects, divinity, which allows materializing objects, comes easily to him. If the mentor is right, his back has fully recovered after a day of rest. Compared to yesterday's exhaustion, Do-jin feels much lighter. Satisfied with his improved condition, he decisively strides toward the room's exit. Do-jin reaches for the curtain, intending to leave the room. Pulling back the drape, he unexpectedly meets his sister holding a mug. The girl asks in surprise where he's going dressed in a suit at this hour. She skeptically clarifies, But Appa, you don't have any friends. Do-jin forces a smile, stammering, "Ah, no, I recently made a friend." His sister is curious. "What's his name?" And Do-jin hesitantly replies, "It's Pyo Damsil." He rushes off, shouting, "Anyway, I'll be back soon, and I'll be late. Don't wait up for me." His sister wishes him luck with condolences and asks him to come back early. Do-jin only manages to shout, "Yeah." Left alone, the sister thoughtfully says, "Damsel, what a cute name." The camera shows a nighttime view of the tall building of the AZU Hotel, glowing with lights. Inside, in a spacious lobby, Do-jin sits opposite his mentor, both with books. The white-haired girl looking at Do-jin calmly asks, "Please don't be too nervous." Do-jin hides his face behind the book Wealth, and his legs betray him by trembling, which the mentor notices. She reminds him, "This isn't your first fight with Mokdugi, right?" And Do-jin recalls how he was simply dragged into the last battle. The mentor, flipping through her book, announces, "The target will arrive soon, so please calm down." Do-jin tries to calm himself by reading the book Wealth, but a bead of sweat reveals his anxiety. His eyes widen as he notices something in the book. Do-jin is shocked by the $850 price of the outfit, exclaiming that it's his monthly expenses. He looks up from the book in surprise, recognizing a familiar outfit. It turns out the mentor is wearing that very expensive suit from the magazine. Do-jin gathers the courage to ask where she always gets new clothes from. The mentor calmly replies that her secretary from the divine realm sews her outfits according to the latest fashion. Do-jin is amazed, recalling Sorangu the drone, and the mentor confirms it's her handiwork. She explains that Sorang is passionate about fashion, materializing clothes from magazines using magic. Do-jin is impressed by the magical clothing, then shyly admits that he really likes the outfits in this magazine. Do-jin praises the secretary's taste, and the mentor promises to pass the compliment on to Sorang. The mentor closes the book. Just in time, Mokdugi's prey has arrived. She clarifies, "This is a person whose evil deeds have long crossed all boundaries." Do-jin asks where they are, and the mentor points to the hotel entrance. The hotel's automatic doors smoothly slide open, letting someone inside. A woman appears on the right, Joo-jin-hee, 39 years old, managing director of Soho M&D. Do-jin asks about the man next to her, to which the mentor replies, "Her current prey." The mentor explains that these victims are just the beginning of her accumulated evil deeds. Jin-hee selects favorites from her agency, using success as bait. She plays with them, then mercilessly discards them like dolls, with a sinister smile. The mentor grimly adds, "Her greatest evil will be committed when she gets rid of these victims." She manipulates the media, creating scandals to destroy them, enjoying their downfall. Do-jin slams shut the Wealth magazine, pondering what he has heard. He recalls the slightest harm to another drains bike, making them Mokdugi's target, and thinks about Jin-hee. The mentor confirms, yes, even the pure and strong bake inside people loses its light and protective power when they commit evil deeds and accumulate bad karma. When accumulated bad karma exceeds the limit, Mokdugi comes for them. At that moment, they become easy prey for the predatory Mokdugi. The mentor announces, but whether she is Mokdugi's prey or not, Joo-jin-hee will die today in room 1205 between 3:15 and 3:30 a.m. With these words, the mentor takes a tablet from the table, preparing for the next step. The mentor declares, "That's in 30 minutes. Now let's go, Mr. Do-jin." She adds that she does not yet sense signs of Mokdugi's barrier, so there is still time. Do-jin and the mentor resolutely head toward the elevators. Meanwhile, Joo-jin-hee and her companion press the button for the 25th floor in another elevator. The elevator doors begin to close, the couple already inside. Joo-jin-hee says, "Excuse me," in surprise, noticing someone at the last moment. Do-jin's hand manages to press the call button, stopping the closing doors. Do-jin and the mentor enter the elevator, standing next to Joo-jin-hee and her companion. Joo-jin-hee casts an appraising, slightly suspicious glance at them. Do-jin nervously asks the mentor, "Our room is also on the 12th floor, right?" Joo-jin-hee smiles and addresses the mentor. "You are very beautiful, and your outfit is wonderful. Do you have an agency?" She hands over an M&E business card, assuring, "No need to be afraid, I'm an agent." Jin-hee tells the mentor, "I see star potential in you. Drop by if you're interested." The mentor, pressing close to the embarrassed Do-jin, replies, "This man is my future husband, so work will be difficult." Jin-hee says regretfully, "What a pity. Yes, after marriage it's not easy. The mentor stands impassively while Do-jin, blushing, clears his throat. Jinhee turns to her companion. You should take care of your skin, quit smoking. I'll put in a good word for you for the coffee commercial. The companion is surprised, but Royal Coffee recently released an ad with a new model, whom you dated. Jinhee smirks ominously, asking, Ah, him? She coldly adds, He'll soon be destroyed by an article about illegal gambling. The companion asks in surprise how Jinhee knows about the gambling, to which she smugly replies, What don't I know in this industry? Do-jin grimly realizes, so that's how she replaces her victims. The elevator arrives at the 12th floor. The characteristic chime sounds. All four exit the elevator, Jinhee and her companion walking ahead. Do-jin and the mentor follow the pair down the hotel corridor. Do-jin thoughtfully asks, Even if we stop Mokdugi, how exactly will she die at the appointed time? He continues, She doesn't look sick or suicidal, so what is the cause of death? The mentor replies that the exact cause is unknown. The mentor explains against the backdrop of a clock. No one knows the future, even if lifespan is predetermined. We don't know the exact moment it ends, the mentor concludes, and Do-jin suggests, maybe there will be a major accident at the hotel? The mentor objects, unlikely, otherwise there would already be plenty of reapers here, and Do-jin thinks with relief, good that it's not an accident, but Do-jin ponders tensely, if not an accident, then what will kill her? A terrifying suspicion dawns on him. Could it be one of her victims? The mentor confirms, possibly. The mentor explains, many hate her, so there's a high chance one of her prey will kill her. Do-jin points ahead. Wait, so someone is already in the hotel preparing to kill her? He declares resolutely, we must stop them. They cannot become murderers. The mentor presents him with a choice. Then Mr. Do-jin choose. Do-jin is surprised. Choose? On a dark background, the Mokdugi snake says, if we save Jinhee from murder, we'll have to fight Mokdugi for her soul. An assassin appears with a knife. If we don't stop the murder, Mokdugi will arrive too late. Do-jin is confused and the mentor repeats, so choose, Mr. Do-jin. She looks him in the eye. Take the soul without interfering with the murder or stop the killer and fight Mokdugi. Do-jin agonizingly weighs the options, save Jinhee and fight Mokdugi, or take the soul without stopping the murder. The mentor states she will follow whatever decision Mr. Do-jin makes. She warns, if you decide to stop the murder, you'll have to reveal yourself to that woman first. Do-jin darkens, knowing that then Mokdugi, hunting Jinhee, will find them first. Revealing themselves means giving Mokdugi the initiative in the upcoming battle. The mentor looks intently, urging, think calmly and make the best choice. Do-jin sinks into deep thought, words stuck in his throat. He recalls the mentor's words. We also don't know the exact cause of her death. And her phrase, no one knows the future, even if lifespan is predetermined, the exact moment of the end is unknown. Do-jin firmly decides, the best choice now is to prevent one of the victims from becoming a murderer in a fit of rage. Do-jin grabs the mentor's shoulders resolutely. Since fate is not predetermined, he continues, then Jinhee's murder is just one possibility, right? The mentor confirms, she can die without a murderer's hand. Do-jin reflects in the corridor. So both Mokdugi's soul abduction and the intern's revenge. His face shows determination. Maybe we can prevent both outcomes. Do-jin recalls the broken interns. Those whom Jinhee mocked and abandoned, they were just kids dreaming of the stage. He thinks painfully of them. Maybe even my sister's peers, waiting for years with no hope of debut. In his mind, Jinhee is a sinister figure holding their fates. Unfortunate kids clutching at a rotten straw in her face. He imagines their despair, their dreams trampled, now ready to become murderers because of such a wretch. Do-jin looks at the mentor. If they don't commit a crime today, they'll have a chance to start over. Before his eyes are two terrible scenarios, the soul of Jinhee Mokdugi being stolen, or one of the victims becoming a killer. Do-jin firmly declares, I will try to prevent both outcomes, so please help me. The mentor replies with a smile, all right, if that is your choice, I will follow your will. They confidently walk down the hotel corridor, ready to act. Do-jin blushes, recalling, I was so nervous that I grabbed her shoulder. Did I upset her? He continues mentally. Of course, although she was the one who initiated physical contact first. Do-jin thinks embarrassedly. She might think I touched her with bad intentions, but I don't have bad intentions, right? The mentor casts him a perceptive glance, smiling slightly. She asks, "Are you worried about that trainee? You really are a kind and gentle person." Do-jin flinches. Really? Do-jin, blushing, stammers. Ha ha ha, well, of course. Naturally, I was thinking about that trainee. The mentor curiously clarifies. The shoulders? Catching Do-jin off guard, who exclaims, No, nothing. The mentor slyly asks, You don't read minds, do you? Do-jin shyly asks her not to read his thoughts. The mentor praises Do-jin's kind heart. She says it will help in the fight against Mokdugi. The mentor explains, Kindness repels evil spirits. She continues, Evil weakens and kindness strengthens. The mentor asks Do-jin to keep kindness in his heart. Do-jin panics. She didn't read my thoughts? He thinks, is this a warning about impure thoughts? The mentor says, Mokdugi hasn't created the barrier yet. The mentor explains, a special psi wave only arises when the barrier opens. That's when we'll catch them. Suddenly a heart-wrenching scream, "Ah!" comes from behind the door. A guy in a cap runs out of the room shouting, Murder! He's gone mad! Do-jin recognizes him. That's the idol who was with Jin-hee. The mentor is already preparing a spell. The mentor's powerful magical strike knocks the guy off his feet. The guy freezes, stunned on the floor, unable to get up. The mentor creates a huge glowing magic circle in front of her. She commands her spirit, Soren, erase and alter his memories, then send him home. The helper spirit Saran, in the form of a cat mask, replies, Yes, Lady Chasa, and rushes to the guy. Under the magic's influence, the guy mumbles, I have to go. Home, I need to go. The mentor suggests, It seems another hiding trainee attacked Jin-hee. Let's hurry before it gets too noisy. Do-jin swallows resolutely, his gaze tense. They stand at the door of room 1205. Do-jin reaches for the handle, the mentor waits. The handle doesn't budge. The door is locked. Do-jin exclaims, Oh no, locked! Do-jin despairingly says, Looks like there's no other way out. He decides to create a fire axe to break down the door, while the mentor falls, dodging his magic. A powerful flash of scorching heat melts the door lock. Do-jin, surrounded by residual flames, looks at the burnt door. The mentor gets up, warning, It's open, but be careful. The melted part is still hot. Do-jin enters, announcing room service, and immediately hears a furious scream, Die! From deep inside the room. Inside, Jin-hee desperately tries to call for help, her eyes full of terror. Do-jin sees a vengeful trainee in a hood looming over Jin-hee on the bed. The attacker's face is twisted with rage. Die, you evil creature! Do-jin grabs the trainee from behind. Stop it, bastard! Do you want to ruin your life? The trainee shouts in fury, Let go, or should I kill you too? The mentor enters the room as the trainee continues struggling with threats. Do-jin holds the crazed guy, Jin-hee sits on the bed, and the mentor watches. The trainee yells at Do-jin, What do you know? My life is already over because of this woman. Jin-hee, coughing, sits on the bed and calls the attacker crazy. Her eyes show rage and bewilderment. Whoa, what was that? Cough! Jin-hee recognizes Do-jin and the mentor. You? The couple from before? She asks suspiciously, Are you also in cahoots with this psycho? The trainee shouts that her son fabricated a drug article to frame him. Jin-hee thinks with contempt, Seriously, this guy has gone mad? He continues yelling about evidence while Do-jin holds him back, and Jin-hee sits on the bed. Jin-hee asks with a mocking smile, And what if you find it? Who will believe you? Do-jin yells at the trainee, Enough, don't provoke her anymore! The mentor watches. Jin-hee replies sarcastically, That's so funny, I was just a little kind to a hopeless loser. The trainee, furious, lunges forward, I'll kill you! Do-jin tries to calm him down. Do-jin shouts, trying to stop him, This woman's life is already over! Her time ends today! Jin-hee waves her hand on the bed, not believing Do-jin's words. The trainee and Jin-hee are puzzled. What is this psycho talking about? The mentor discreetly attaches a talisman to the trainee's wrist. The trainee's gaze instantly becomes empty and submissive. The trainee collapses. Do-jin and the mentor support him. Jin-hee is shocked. Jin-hee panics. What's wrong with him? What did you do to him? She jumps up from the bed, shouting, Who are you bastards? Do-jin sweats nervously while the mentor remains calm. Do-jin declares resolutely, "We are representatives of the afterlife." Jin-hee is stunned. "What? The afterlife?" Jin-hee looks at the mentor with a contemptuous smirk. She laughs. "Ha ha, what, are you a prosecutor? Such a beauty, you must have studied hard." Jin-hee threatens lawsuits and connections if the mentor opposes her. The mentor calmly counters, "That won't happen, your court is the lowest." Jin-hee smirks mockingly, suggesting she try to handle it alone. Suddenly she notices the disappearing trainee. "That guy, he's vanishing." The mentor turns to Do-jin, realizing, could it be he just revealed himself? She continues, looking at the burst of energy. "Mokdugi's barrier." A powerful purple flash illuminates the room. The mentor is ready. Jin-hee is terrified. Do-jin orders the mentor, "Put the Beck shield in front of me, big enough for 3. The mentor warns, "I feel the thirst for murder outside the balcony window." Do-jin looks horrified at the glowing talisman in the mentor's hand. Do-jin's eyes blaze as he commands Jin-hee, "Don't move or Mokdugi will take your soul." The mentor holds Jin-hee, promising, "I'll safely send you to hell," while Do-jin creates the shield. Jin-hee panics, trying to break free from the calm mentor's grip. All 3 take cover behind Do-jin's shield and he announces, "Shield is ready." A sudden strike shakes the shield. Do-jin anxiously watches a crack appear. A sharp knife pierces the barrier right by Do-jin's head, making him flinch. Do-jin shouts to the mentor, pressing against the shield, "Don't stick out from behind the shield." The mentor declares with cold determination, "This is just the beginning." The balcony window cracks under a new attack. Shards of glass fly at them at furious speed. Numerous sharp projectiles pierce the air, aiming at the trio. Do-jin screams in horror, "If we hadn't put up the shield, we'd be a cushion for needles." A shard pierces Do-jin's shoulder, blood spurting out. Wounded Do-jin demands compensation and asks to take care of his sister. The mentor remains calm. Everything is by contract. The mentor pulls out a new talisman, creating a glowing artifact. The mirror that reflects demons appears, blazing with energy. The mirror intercepts flying blades, faster than a swallow. The mentor explains, the mirror is effective against attacks within 10 meters. The mirror flashes brightly, reflecting a whole barrage of flying blades. The mentor's artifact continues to shine, successfully blocking the attack. Do-jin, with a wounded shoulder, and the mentor look tensely ahead. Through the smoke, a villain appears, mocking, "Even with such a treasure, you rely on human strength?" The catboy smirks and says, "Even if you're a messenger from the afterlife, you're insignificant." He continues to taunt, "That big shield took a lot of Beck, huh?" The werecat with a sly smile offers, "How are you, messenger? Just hand over the loot." The mentor looks ahead resolutely, saying Do-jin's name. A glowing energy weapon materializes before her as the cat continues to mock. The mentor fires, making the werecat shout, "Whoa!" and dodge. The werecat is surprised. "Whoa, you're too much, I told you!" He smirks. "Anyway, it doesn't matter, I didn't come alone." The catboy introduces his companion. "This is Mokdugi, just for your weapon." Mokdugi addresses the cat. "You promised to give me a chance to prove myself, Master Summerstar." Mokdugi's body swells, covered with grotesque growths, thanking the master. A small creature resembling a rat with symbols falls from Mokdugi's pant leg. Do-jin frowns, recognizing the rats. Each bullet's power is huge, but 1 rat per bullet. A whole swarm of glowing rat projectiles forms. Mokdugi mocks, "Count your ammo." Do-jin grips his weapon while Mokdugi gloats that the bullets definitely won't be enough. An avalanche of demonic rats rushes forward. Mokdugi shouts, "They won't be enough!" Do-jin opens fire, trying to stop the approaching swarm of rats. He shouts in despair, "Too many rats, we can't stop them!" A demonic rat with glowing eyes commands, "Use the cannon! Destroy the shield!" Bloodied rats continue the assault, repeating the order to destroy the shield. The swarm of rats rushes toward the blazing red magic circle on the floor. A powerful explosion of red energy shakes the room. Do-jin barely holds on. The mentor calmly activates a new blue talisman on the shield. The blue barrier repels the rats, causing them to panic. "What is this? A protective barrier." One rat fiercely tries to gnaw through the barrier. "It's weak! Gnaw it!" The mentor, carrying Jin-hee, calmly explains, "This barrier is simplified. It will fall soon." Do-jin agrees, "Yes, let's retreat to another room. There will be a new barrier." The demonic rat gloats. This barrier has no beck. I'll devour it in no time. The mentor, carrying Jinhee and Do-jin, hurriedly run to the next door. Do-jin looks around in despair. A whole swarm of rats. How are we supposed to deal with this? The werecat mocks their attempt to flee. Running is useless. The rats bare their teeth, promising to gnaw through any barrier with their incisors. The catboy smirks and confirms, I'll gnaw through everything with my front teeth. The heroes continue their retreat, breaking through the next doorway. The mentor with Jinhee disappear behind the door in a flash of pink energy. An innumerable horde of demonic rats breaks through the weakening barrier with a roar. Do-jin covers the retreat, aiming at the new barrier in the doorway. He asks desperately what to do, but the mentor explains, the mirror is powerless against Mokdugi. Do-jin is struck by a terrible realization. Each small rat is Mokdugi itself. The mentor confirms she's never seen such a swarm of Mokdugi before. Do-jin is stunned. She suggests that all the rats share a single consciousness, judging by their self-sacrifice. The mentor pulls out new, unused talismans from behind her back. She tosses them up, intending to create a full protective barrier in this room. The talismans flare up, transforming into powerful energy streams for the spell. A bright pink magic circle appears, sealing the doorway with a reliable barrier. Do-jin asks hopefully if the mentor can create a more powerful weapon. The mentor explains, right now she can only create a small weapon compatible with the shield. Do-jin recalls, I looked at the blueprints in the encyclopedia, but I didn't study them well. The mentor, holding a folder, confirms, so you really did look through everything. She suggests a risky path. There is a way to create a weapon even with fragmentary knowledge. Do-jin declares resolutely, if we stay like this, the rats will eat us alive. We have to try. The mentor points Do-jin to the bed where Jinhee is already lying. All right, then sit here. Through the shimmering barrier, the silhouettes of the heroes are visible, surrounded by swarming Mokdugi rats. The rat horde fiercely gnaws at the barrier, their voices merging into a single command. Gnaw! Tear it apart! The mentor announces, I will use your back to hyper-awaken your brain and materialize the weapon. Do-jin is puzzled. If it's so effective, why didn't we do this earlier? The mentor explains, unlike weapon creation, body enhancement continuously drains your back. She continues, and after a few seconds, when the back runs out, your life will start to be consumed. The warning sounds severe. Even you, with triple back reserves, will last about 5 minutes. This is a mutual destruction technique. The mentor looks serious. And since this is a hyper-awakening of the brain, the chance of failure is high. I can't guarantee success. Do-jin with a bitter smile. I guess you won't even lie that we'll definitely make it. In a situation like this? The mentor replies firmly, lies won't mean anything now. At the bottom of the frame, rats continue their attack. She gives instructions. For hyper-awakening the brain, you need to completely clear your mind of worries, filling it only with happy thoughts. The mentor begins the ritual. Now imagine your happiest moments one after another. Her hand flashes above Do-jin's head. She explains the process, touching his head. I will enhance your brain activity and add your back to trigger the hyper-awakening. Do-jin sinks into thought. The happiest things. First, I need a lot of money to pay for Yejin's treatment. Do-jin smiles, immersed in happy thoughts under the mentor's hand. The mentor approves, excellent, pure happiness, awakening level is rising. Do-jin dreams. And I want to build a normal, happy family. In his imagination, he returns home to a loving wife. Honey, I'm home. A beautiful wife greets him among roses. Welcome back, a honeymoon where we're happy together. The mentor is amazed. His awakening level is rising rapidly. Do-jin imagines, we'll have 2 children, a boy and a girl. He continues fantasizing, maybe we'll get a pet too, a dog and a cat. In reality, the mentor continues the ritual, directing energy into Do-jin's brain. She is astonished. Incredible. The brain's awakening level is rising so fast. Do-jin smiles shyly, fully immersed in his happy daydreams. He dreams of such a family. A loving wife, 2 children, a cat, and a dog. The mentor announces, perfect. Activating full hyper-awakening of the brain. Concentrate all your mental energy. Do-jin's eyes widen as an unexpected twist occurs in his fantasy. In his dreams, his wife appears, strikingly resembling the mentor, calling him dear. The fantasy continues. The wife sits on his lap in a cozy setting, saying, "The kids are already asleep." She looks at him playfully. "By the way, honey," Do-jin asks curiously, "What?" His imaginary wife whispers with a seductive smile, "I think it would be nice to have a third child." Do-jin, blushing, stammers in shock, Third?" In reality, his shocked exclamation, "third," triggers a powerful energy surge, lifting them and the mentor into the air. Meanwhile, a mysterious observer with cat ears notes, "The barrier holds, though the rats are raging." He smirks on the roof. "What's it to me? I'm just a spectator today." His hand grips the handle of a sharp knife, anticipating the climax. With a sly smile, he wonders how long the heroes will hold out against his rat army. From inside the barrier, blue energy spikes repel the attacking rats. The mentor admits with surprise, "Impressive. I didn't think you could do it." Do-jin stands enveloped in a blue glow, his brain hyper-awakened using back. The rats continue fiercely gnawing at the magical barrier despite the counterattacks. A powerful energy surge pushes a whole wave of rats away from the glowing barrier. The unstoppable Mokdugi horde forms a living tower, trying to break through the defense. Mokdugi rats with red runes on their backs surge forward relentlessly. Their master commands, "Use the spell!" The barrier cracks under the onslaught. Rats scream. "The protective barrier is almost broken. Gnaw it." The lead rat with red eyes yells, "Gnaw! Faster! Tear it apart! The barrier is almost down!" One of the rats joyfully shouts through the cracking barrier, "The barrier is down! The barrier is down!" The rats break through the barrier remnants, but suddenly one freezes. "Break! Huh?" Suddenly, a metallic object lands in the crowd of rats. The rats, confused, surround the strange object. One picks it up. "What flew in? What is this?" Close up. A rat holds an H-12 Type 345 fragmentation grenade. Puzzled. "What?" A powerful explosion scatters the rats in all directions, illuminating everything with bright light. The surviving rats look in horror at the aftermath. "Jinchanro? That little thing?" The mentor notes, "This is a modern Jinchanro, already the third weapon, but your back isn't infinite." The explosion lights everything up, but the mentor warns, "Only the fragments with back are dangerous. Dodge them." The lead rat commands, "A few Jinchanros aren't scary. Scatter and attack. Gnaw the barrier." The rats with runes on their backs scatter, following the order, "Scatter, break through, gnaw." The rat leader smirks, but immediately a hail of grenades falls on them. The rat commander freezes in horror, unable to believe his eyes. "What?" He desperately shouts to his subordinates, "Those closest, cover these shells with your bodies." The rats selflessly throw themselves at the flying grenades, trying to contain the shrapnel. The horde panics. "Jinchanro, cover them, block the shrapnel." A mysterious hand with white hair displays a glowing golden artifact with patterns. A rat with runes sees a dazzling light pouring from the doorway. The corridor is illuminated by numerous bright flashes, heralding a new attack. Explosions scatter the rats with red marks in all directions. An observer with ears is stunned. "Demon mirror light for detonation?" Defeated rats lie among the debris. "Damn, so many at once." The main rat snorts disdainfully. "It's just loud noise. We'll cover with bodies and the damage will be minimal." The rat commander inspires his troops. "Now we know how to fight. We still have plenty of teeth to gnaw." Do-jin, with icy hair, prepares a new projectile wrapped in blue Beck energy. The last grenade flies toward the rats at the barrier. "Are they out of Beck? Only one Jinchanro?" The rat commander orders, 3 or 4, cover her with your bodies again." 3 rune-marked rats rush at the grenade, trying to contain the shrapnel with their bodies. The grenade beneath them flashes with a blinding light, signaling a different kind of explosion. A powerful burst of white smoke and light scatters the rats. One is thrown into the air. The surviving rats scream in panic, surrounded by caustic white flames. The white fire clings to the rats' bodies, impossible to extinguish. The observer with ears notes, "This is white fire, resembling smoke, unknown even to sorcerers." He wonders about Do-jin. How capable is he of controlling iron and fire? The cat-eared one smirks. "Promise not to interfere." What to do? He turns to the burning building. Seems like there's no time left to think. Do-jin's mentor, "White phosphorus smoke is spreading. Prepare the final weapon." The mentor warns, "Do-jin, you have little Beck left." Do-jin with icy hair realizes he must now conserve energy. He concentrates the remaining blue Beck energy between his palms. The rat leader orders the wounded to cut off burning flesh and cluster together. Rune-marked rats try to shield their comrades from the white smoke, sacrificing themselves. The main rat is sure Do-jin's Beck is almost depleted. He gloats, "We'll wait out the smoke, then tear him to pieces." Suddenly, a pink barrier forms around the rats. The leader panics. "What is this? Chasa's protective barrier." Trapped rats scream desperately, "He caught us! We need to run!" The mentor stands on a magic circle. "I thought so," they group together. The mentor explains, "Pride and collective intelligence led the rats into a trap." The rats panic inside the barrier, realizing they have been turned against themselves. The rat leader is confident. After so many attacks, the enemy's Beck is nearly exhausted. The rat commander's evil gaze promises to gnaw the enemy to the bone. Do-jin activates a glowing circle on his hand. 3 seconds? Too long. With icy hair and a flamethrower, he declares, 1 second is enough for me. The mentor decides, the battle is over, I'll deactivate your brain's hyperactivation. She touches Do-jin's head, and the blue Beck energy begins to leave him. The mentor warns, hyperactivation drained your Bayek, use the remainder wisely. Do-jin, now with dark hair, feels Beck is almost zero due to brain overload. Do-jin explains, due to lack of Beck, he created only 2 liters of fuel for the flamethrower. He confidently aims, stating, this power is enough to finish the battle. Suddenly, the cat-eared one appears, stepping onto the pink barrier with the rats. Wait, wait! The cat-eared one smirks, calling such a trump card cheating. Do-jin and the mentor are shocked by his interference. The stranger with ears draws a knife. I wasn't going to interfere, but I changed my mind. He charges into attack, declaring, looks like this guy needs to be killed right here. The cat-eared one's knife strikes the glowing magical barrier set by the mentor. The cat-eared one boasts, breaking a hastily made barrier is easy for me. I'm a martial arts master. He shows sharp claw blades, threatening, get out of the way if you don't want knives in your cute little face. The mentor replies with contempt, so you're a martial arts master with a face like that? And a cleaver is driven into the ground before her. The mentor and Do-jin calmly face the threat. Well, throw as many as you can, Miss Martial Arts Master. The cat-eared one unleashes a barrage of dozens of throwing knives in a glowing whirlwind. The mentor swiftly deflects the attack with purple energy claws. One knife nearly reaches Do-jin, stopped just a centimeter from his face. The cat-eared one is surprised by the mentor's skill. A serious throw. Didn't expect you to catch them all. He looks at her with curiosity, holding his knives. What kind of woman are you? The cat-eared one smirks at their coordination. You can't tell who's the knight and who's the princess here. You could have let a couple slip. A pile of deflected and caught blades lies at their feet. The mentor explains her defense of Do-jin. There's always a shortage of personnel in our field, everyone counts. The cat-eared one nods toward the rats. Personnel are precious to us too, even if useless. Today we retreat. The cat-eared one holds 2 rune-marked rats, shouting, Lady Summer Sun, we can still fight. He hisses angrily at the rats. Shut up, idiots, you've lost. There's almost nothing left of you. Suddenly awakened, the woman with chestnut hair clutches her head. Oh, my head hurts. Huh? She hesitantly steps out of the remnants of the pink barrier, asking, how long have I been asleep? Looking around at the ruins, Dodge and the mentor, she mutters, what a mess. Has the drug's effect not worn off yet? I'm having strange hallucinations. Dodge thinks in panic. Oh no! Why did she wake up right now? We were almost done. The cat-eared one smirks. Looks like it's too early to retreat. The prey is crawling out of the barrier itself. Forward, finish her off. He throws the rats into the attack, promising, whoever succeeds will receive a name from the mother. Lady Summer Sun freezes in shock, seeing the creatures rushing toward her. The mentor pushes her aside, warning, standing here is dangerous. The mentor sharply shoves Lady Summer Sun, ordering, lie down here for now. The mentor's long hair flows, emphasizing her swift movement. With a determined look and a purple aura, she is ready to repel the new threat.